Welcome back. Let's go to line number 6. Todd, you're on the air.
Hey, Patty, how's it going?
Okay, you?
Not too bad. I just want to talk about the vaccines right quick. I know you love talking about that, as everyone does.
Hate it.
Yes. So I was just watching something last night. The CEO of Pfizer last night just said that everybody knows now that the 2 vaccines are not effective. So I'm curious why we're still pushing it. Why is everything mandated if the CEO of Pfizer just said that they're ineffective?
Well, we don't need him to tell us.
So why is it mandated to get 2 vaccines if they're saying it's ineffective? What's the point?
Well, because when the mandates came in, we knew what we knew then. What we know now and the real-life data, we don't need Pfizer to tell us. All we have to do is look at what's happening in the healthcare system and to the numbers of hospitalizations up and down the line. I mean, we can deduce for ourselves without having the president of a private sector big pharmaceutical company tell us. So the point you're making is what exactly? That
the person who owns the Pfizer vaccine is saying that it is well known now, and I can play it if you don't want to listen. Just listen.
No, I read the story yesterday.
And we know.
Oh no, Todd, don't. Todd, we're not recording the top 10 at 10 through the speaker. I can't hear that. Anyway, put him back on the air. Let him finish the conversation, Dave. Put him back on. Okay, is he on again? Okay, Todd, you're back on, because we can't hear that. So I'm not saying it didn't happen because I read the story myself. I know full well what the man has said. But the issue is not whether or not the 2 doses are. It's whether or not NACI, Health Canada, the CDC, the FDA, and other countries think that the 3rd dose can be helpful, like we've seen in other jurisdictions. We've kind of chased other countries, haven't we? Like, for instance, Israel is one of the go-tos. So, yeah, the 2 doses aren't working enough. They simply aren't. And I think we all know that. I don't need the buddy at Pfizer to tell me. How about you?
Okay. So why is it a mandate? Why can't I get a job because I don't have 2 vaccines when you're just admitting that it's useless?
No, I didn't say it was useless. It's not working like it's intended to work. That's why they're encouraging.
What is the purpose if it's not working as it's intended?
Well,
why are the mandates there if it's not working?
Because what we knew then is not what we know now, number one. And secondly, you can't get the 3rd dose until you had the 1st and 2nd dose.
Okay, but still, then if you just said that, why are we having a mandate right now today? Why did they close everything if 2 is not working?
They didn't close everything, number one. And secondly, if the 3rd dose is going to be a different layer and increased protection, isn't that what we're trying to achieve?
Why are you not... Okay, so I am saying if 2 are not working,
right,
why is it mandated for 2? Don't talk about the 3rd one. Just answer my question about the 2nd one. I'm just curious. It doesn't make any sense logically why they're mandating 2 vaccines, but it's not working.
It's not working as well as they hoped and wanted it to work. And I'm not talking about Pfizer or Moderna or AstraZeneca or Oxford or Johnson & Johnson. I'm talking about health officials. It's not working as effectively as they want it to work, or as I want it to work, if we're going to bring it back to our own individual stance on these things.
So the real problem is that the hospitalizations. So the real problem is what? Infrastructure?
Oh, that's absolutely a big part of it. No doubt about it.
So shouldn't we just be building more hospitals instead of preventing people from going to school and going to work? Like, I literally just went to school, become a tractor-trailer driver, and now I can't go to work because I don't have 2 vaccines that I'm told are ineffective. That makes no sense to me as a logical 38-year-old person.
Well, it's a couple of things. It's not a zero-sum game. It's not a one or the other. I think everything you can do to keep people out of hospital, regardless of what we're talking about, COVID or anything else under the sun, is a pretty solid idea. It looks like we've underinvested in things like ICU. I think that's becoming quite clear. And whether it be stockpiles of PPE or ventilators or anything else. So I very seldom accept the conversations that are all zero-sum, because there is nothing that is a zero-sum game. So everything we can do in the healthcare world to increase positive healthcare outcomes, to protect the system that has been strained for years, and now we're showing it very, very clearly during the pandemic, isn't that the approach we should all be thinking and taking? So, like, for instance, I never dismiss when someone says, why aren't we talking more about our diet and our immune system? Why aren't we talking more about zinc and vitamin D and exercise and things in our immune system? Of course we should, because they're all involved in a reasonable, well-rounded conversation.
You know, it's funny, all the virologists I watch that are being censored, that until COVID were getting awards for being so smart and so intelligent, and they've been working for 10, 20, 30 years on virology and other things, but now because they say that zinc and vitamin C, like you just said, actually boost your immune system. And also on top of that, natural immunity, they say, is 13% stronger than these vaccines. Now all of a sudden, these people are being censored, and we're not allowed to talk about this information.
But those things, everything's waning. See, natural immunity has been proven to wane over time. The effectiveness of second shots has proved to wane over time. I don't dismiss any of that. It's absolutely true. I mean, the strength of anyone's immune system is part of a conversation that extends beyond COVID. I mean, it does. We've kind of germophobed ourselves to death. We got our hands washed to death, and this is pre-pandemic kind of stuff. So, yeah, when you talk about a healthy body, a healtly mind, if you don't include your diet and whatever vitamins might be very effective in fighting off X, Y, and Z, why wouldn't that be part of the conversation? No problem for me to have it.
I don't care about any of this. The only thing that bothers me is the mandates and the fact that I am forced as an individual to take something when everyone is, even yourself have just said, it doesn't stop the transmission. It's just a personal choice that prevents that one person from going to the hospital, maybe. There's a possibility.
Oh, there's a good possibility.
Mandates are to prevent me, my one person. So if everyone else in the world got vaccinated, still I can't go to work because you're all safe, but I'm not safe. How does that make sense, Patty?
Well, you're less safe than people who are fully vaccinated.
But what does that make a difference? What does it matter if I'm not
Why does it
safe,
matter?
if everybody else is? Why can't I go to work, and then if I get sick, then I can go and heal myself, and then don't worry about it? Why does it matter to everybody else if it doesn't stop the spread?
Wait, now, you can go heal yourself?
That's what the body does. You rest, you drink, and then it naturally heals itself, or you die just like from influenza and everything else there is out in the world, Patty.
So shouldn't we try to protect people from dying if it's avoidable?
But you're talking about me as myself. So if everyone else
talk about anybody.
Why does it matter? So all the other people that are protected, why does it matter if anybody else doesn't get protected? It doesn't make any sense.
Because it's not about
now you care about everybody else individually, when before this, no one really cared about anybody as an individual person.
What?
You know what I mean?
No, I don't. Not if you're talking about me and what I think and what I care about. No, I don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
not saying that you're a bad person. You don't care about people's feelings. You know what I mean? And on a personal level, do you know every single person that lives in the world?
Of course
no,
not.
You don't.
I don't know everyone who lives on Kemap Road.
Exactly. So it's foolish for you to say that now all of a sudden you care about every single person in the world having this protection, whether or not
that's not what I said.
Reaction to it, or whether or not it works or not.
But you're putting words in my mouth. This is where these conversations get derailed through no fault of mine. You're putting words in my mouth. I've never said any of those things. None of them. So why pretend I did? How is that helping your point?
What do you mean? It's an observation. Nobody in their right mind has the capacity to focus on 8 billion people in this planet, right? That's an unfathomable number
but
for you to be able to concentrate on. So you can just concentrate on yourself.
Anyway,
so if
Ed,
you yourself have the vaccine, why does it matter that no one else has it? It doesn't matter. So the mandates are ridiculous, and that was my point.
Okay, but that point makes for a reasonable conversation as opposed to pretending I said all the things that you say I did when I didn't, which just doesn't really help. It kind of takes away any credibility that the various decent points you make. And Ed, your call is always welcome, as are your emails.
Yeah, Ed's not my name, but that's cool. Thanks.
Okay, take good care. Bye-bye. Look, have I ever said that I've got 8+ billion people's every single daily emotion, struggle, and turmoil on my mind constantly, and I think I can manage that? I can barely manage myself. So I don't really know what that means. And the concept of one individual is also part of the sum of whether you be fully, partially, or unvaccinated. It's not about one person, and it never really is. Public health is not about the individual. Public health is very much in the definition of the title of the department. It's the public's health. Now, whether or not you choose to get vaccinated, that's up to you. He brings in an interesting part of the conversation, being a truck driver, though, because there might be an implication for transport across the American-Canadian border on the 15th of January if the government sticks with the fact that you're not allowed to cross unless you're double vaccinated, because that's what the definition includes at this moment in time. It might impact as many as 25,000 truckers who at this time are not fully vaccinated. So when I say something that you like to take to task or take to the issue, take an issue with, or even to the woodshed, fine. But don't tell me I said stuff I didn't say. If I didn't say it, then your beef might be with someone else. And you can got a beef with what I think or say. Come on with it. That's what we're doing here. Let's take a break.
And we know that the two doses of the vaccine offer very limited protection, if any. Very limited protection, if any.